Okay, so now we're going to look at how the sign up PHP works. So we've looked at we've got the sign up HTML. So we've got all the fields here. We've got the sign up JS, and that's going to send the data to this file. Okay, so it's going to go into the PHP file. It's going to find the login. Okay, so I'm going to check where I put mine. So let's just make sure we can find the right place in this. Send login data to. So we are sat in signup.html, which is here in pages. So we need to go up one and now to PHP. And I've put it into a folder called account, and I've called it login.php in this example. So it's there. Login.php is there. So you can see that that's there. So I'll just save that. And then it's going to send it to that file. This is that file here. So, and what this file does, it's a PHP file. So we've got to have this PHP at the top. We need to have this, and this tells the PHP there's just a JSON file. It's going to be application. So it's going to catch something and it's going to send something back. And we've got a function called main here, which is what's running. And again, very similar to the ones before. It's going to make sure our connect is there. So where we are in here, so I need to go // connect, and then it's not called connect user flashcards, it's called connect user bookshop PHP. Okay, so that will connect using my user PHP here. So we've already tested that out and that works. This line here, make sure that it takes the JSON, it captures it, and it delivers it. We open the envelope. Okay, so I put some debugging in here so you can see that if to check that works. So we could test that out. Okay, die means it will stop, so it will stop anywhere. So I'm going to save that. Let's make sure it catches the data that we're sending. So I'm going to go back to my page. I will need to refresh, and I will need to go to network. Now, hopefully, if we put these things in, password in, right, and put it there, and sign up. Oh, I've still got the breakpoint in. I don't need the breakpoint there, and I don't need that breakpoint there. Okay, so something's coming back as undefined. So it's gone to login. Okay, and it says here I've got an error in my code on line 81, which is fine. We can deal with that. It's probably because I've got too many brackets somewhere. So line 81 is somewhere in here. Line 81. So got to work out my brackets now. So this could be some of the problems that you have too. So we've got an open bracket there. I've got a closed bracket there. I've got no missing quotes. See message. Let's just check that code again. So let's make sure it's running the right one. Unexpected closing bracket on login PHP. Line 81. So what I missed? I've got dollar response message. Right. Let me find out what that error is, and then we'll come back. So we'll just pause you. Okay. Simple error. I should not be using login. We are doing sign up. The wrong file. So I'm not awake at the moment. So sign up. So I'll save that. Back to my web page. Refresh that. Fred. It should be sign up. I should be looking at that. That's run. That's successful. Okay, so we can see here that it's just echoed what I've said. So in my code here, so I'm just doing a test to make sure I capture it. So it's a good thing to do first. Always make sure the data's getting there. So I've just got echo data's received. It's printing what data received, and I've made it stop by dying. So you can see in here, data received is, and this printed the object, which is my JSON, and it's got email, first name, last word, and password. So it's got all the data that I've sent. Okay, so I can comment these back out now, and I wanted to let it carry on doing what it should be doing. So let's just make sure we go through this now. So it's going to run this subroutine called the new user, add new user. It's going to send the connection and the data that I've received. So it's got the data here, $data, and it brings it in here. So this is my response. This is what I'm going to send back. It's just a JSON again, success code, key value, success code 0, no data yet, no message yet. So that's just setting up a response. This is my query. Okay, so I'm going to add something into here. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So I'm just going to add it in. We'll talk about how we check for the user a bit later, but we're just going to add it into users, and it's going to add in, and this is called a parameterized query. Okay, so we've got all the fields that I want to add, including my password, and now here I'm binding the data that I've been sent. This is my JSON, email, first name, last name. I don't want date of birth. That doesn't exist. And in here, date of birth doesn't exist. I've just got those 4 things. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I don't want to add those in. My table is called customer. And we've got email, we've got first name with a lowercase n and last name with a lowercase n. Okay, so let's change those. And the data that I'm sending is also lowercase. Okay, that's what we got back. Just check here. Yeah, first name, last name, password. These are the names of the fields. Okay, so there they are. Now for the password, I'm going to encrypt it. I'm going to use an encryption algorithm called a password hash, and that will create for me an encrypted password. So even if my password is Fred, which is what I've sent, it will put into the database an encrypted password. So this is just going to, there's my query. I've prepared the query. This is the data I'm attaching, and then I attach the password to the password here. Okay, so that fills it in. And then here I try and run the query. If it's successful, then the success code is 1. So that will send for a response. Remember, I'm sending a response back. That's all I'm sending. And if there's an exception, okay, if it doesn't work, if it fails, success code is 0, and I'm sending the message back. Okay, so look at those steps, go through that, make sure you understand it. Key things are, this is what we're sending back, response. We send it back there. Okay, if there's data to send back, we'll put it in the data. This is my query. I'm setting up my query. I'm preparing my SQL, and it's parameterized, and I have to bind the data to the parameters, fit it into the slots. Once we've done that, we can then try, and then we can get a message back. So let's try it. So let's save it. So I've taken the brakes off. I've taken the die off now. So it's in the back end, so I don't need to reload this. So I can send this now. So it's gone to sign up. So it says insert value list doesn't match the column list. Okay, so I've got a message back saying that in my response, that's what I've got. I've got a message back saying that my columns don't match up in my insert statement. So let's just check that. So in my database, let's find my database. I'm inserting into customer. Let's find customer. There's customer. And if I go to structure there, so I'm missing a postcode. So I haven't grabbed my postcode on my user form. So it doesn't have to be there. It's not required field, but I've got first name. And that's why it's causing the error, because there's no postcode there. Okay. So I can just adjust my query. Okay. So I'm just going to say here, I'm going to match these up. So I'm going to say email, first name, last name, and password. I'm not going to worry about doing it the other way with the postcode as well. I'll add the postcode in a minute. You'll see it. So if I go to sign up and then run that again, okay, got no problem here. So it's gone to a different page now because that's where I wanted it to go to. So it's not kept my data. It should have preserved the log, but there we go. Oh, it's done it now. Yeah. So we can see that it sent it. Okay, and there's no particular response back, but it's actually gone to and processed through the JavaScript page. So it's gone in here, send the login data. The success code was 1. It's gone to, if it's successful, it's gone to login.html, which I've renamed it, and it's that. So it should then go to your login.html. See, I've renamed it and it's gone to login.html. I haven't edited that yet, but I need to. That's going to be my login page. And then we can then do that. Okay. So if I wanted it to include the postcode, then I can just edit the page. So let's add postcode into here. So it's good practice. Add postcode. So postcode. Postcode. So I've added it there. I need to add it into my JavaScript when I'm gathering the data. Okay, so I need postcode. Okay, I've added it to my JavaScript. Now I need to add it into my sign up. So now I should be able to take that away because I've got all the fields. I want to put their postcode because that comes after that. And I need to bind that to there. Okay. And then it should work. So if I add a different user now, so if I refresh that page, J Patel 2 at okay. Anything in there, put Fred in there, put Fred in there. Okay, and then sign up. And you can see that's done it now. So we should see in our database, we should see that data in here. If I browse it, and we should see it there. There we go. There's our data, and there's our encrypted password.